Hello everyone, it's Pastor Scott here at CLC Fishers. It's been a really good summer series. I've enjoyed this Stories Worth Remembering. We've looked at lots of different accounts, things from the Bible that maybe you haven't looked at in a while, maybe you haven't looked at ever, but things that are important for us, accounts that are important for us to look at, to study again, to learn anew so that we can see how God reveals himself. We see the way that God interacts with his people of old and know that God continues to interact with us. He continues to bless us with his love. He continues to draw near to us. And that was the account from this past week, right? This past week we looked at the prophet Elijah. And the prophet Elijah had come from his great competition with the prophets of Baal. It had been a moment when God showed himself in this miraculous way through this unbelievable coming in fire to consume the offering and to let everybody know that he was the only true God. But Elijah went from that moment into a place of real despair and despondency. He went from that place into a place where he needed to know that God was not only powerful, but that God was close. And not only that he was close, but that God was close enough to care. And that's exactly what God did for Elijah. He drew close to him in his moment, in his time of need. He appeared to him on another mountain. And God proved to Elijah that he cared for him. And that care was exhibited because he was so close that Elijah could hear the proverbial still small voice, or as the scriptures tell us, the gentle whisper of God. And God told Elijah that not only did he care about Elijah as a loving father, but that he also reserved for Elijah others around him, a community of people, 7,000 in all. And then he gave him this great gift, a successor, a prophet to come after him. The prophet's name was Elisha, and it was one that Elijah would care for and would lead. God wanted Elisha to know that Elijah's lessons would be visited on him as well. God wanted Elijah to know that he wasn't alone. And so as we see that transition between these two stories, which are very different, we see Elijah's moment where God is close enough to care. And then we see Elisha going forward in the spirit of Elijah. And as he does that, he does some remarkable things just like Elijah did as a prophet. But now Elisha heals a man named Naaman. And Naaman is what we would then call a new convert, a new believer. And so after he receives this gift of healing from Elisha, you can read about this in 2 Kings. After he receives this healing, he says this, "Now I know that there is no God in all the world except in Israel." And he tries to give Elisha a gift. He tries to give him a blessing, but Elisha won't take it because Elisha wants Naaman to simply experience the love of God for what it is, a free gift. Now Elisha also has a servant. His name is Gehazi. Gehazi is of a very different spirit. Gehazi thinks that Elisha should have gotten something, and you start to see the character of Gehazi. You start to see that he's a very greedy person, and so he actually pursues Naaman, and he goes and gets some of Naaman's goods, some of Naaman's treasure for himself, and he brings it back and he hides it away in his own house. He inevitably has these great plans for it. But Elisha knows about it, because they are one in spirit, and Elisha calls him out. And it's a challenge for all of us to think about what it is to give a free gift and expect nothing in return, what it is to extend the love of God in Jesus Christ, and to do so in a way that someone will understand this free gift is from God and not from us, so that they don't end up saying, boy, how great is Elisha? How great is Elijah? How great are you, or how great am I? But instead we'll focus on what God has done. We'll say, how great is a God who comes to love and to heal me? And so that's what we have to look forward to this weekend. The wonder of knowing a God who fulfills all of our needs, of knowing a God who is close enough to care, and of knowing a God who loves us for free in Jesus Christ. See you this weekend.